Today's March 5th. Today's quote is entitled Envy or Pride. We can say that envy is the cause of fall down, but pride must come before envy because we have to be proud to be envious of Krishna. But not that we can say, Krishna says, Icha Dvesa. Icha Dvesha. Dvesha means envy or hatred or repulsion. Icha means desire. So that's why we came in the material world. That's what keeps us here. That's what we're caught up with while we're here. So generally we say, well, we were envious of Krishna. We wanted to imitate him. And that envy, immediately, that pulls us away from Krishna. But when we think about it, unless we become first proud, unless pride enters, why would the envy be there? So it is said pride precedes a fall. So that's in the Bible. So the point of this quote is to show the fundamental nature of pride, that pride is the cause of fall, originally the cause of fall. And whatever causes us to fall into the material world, into material consciousness, is the very thing that's going to keep us here. So pride caused us to fall. If we start to become Krishna conscious, pride will again cause us to fall. It is pride that keeps us in the material world. What brought you here keeps you here. And then what brings you to Krishna, which is giving up false ego, humbling yourself, being willing to accept higher authority, that mood is what gets you out. So what got you here, keeps you here, what is bringing you to Krishna, what is starting to get you out, is what ultimately, if you keep doing it, gets you out. Humility is the first item of knowledge because it's foundational. The Prabhupada says, unless you have that, you can't build the other qualities, because unless there's submission, you can't hear. And how can you build your Krishna consciousness unless you hear? What Krishna consciousness is, what is the process, how to get out of the material world. If there's a lack of faith, what's it due to? It's due to pride. So pride is the problem. Pride is the fundamental problem that caused us to come here. It's what blocks people from surrendering. And again, it's what is going to impede or cause us to fall away from Krishna once we begin Krishna consciousness. So it's obviously something we need to work with, think about, deal with, be conscious of, and be careful when we see it rising within us, not to cultivate it. Just recognize that it's there. It's a conditioned response to situations around us. We recognize it, we observe it, but we don't feed into it. That's the problem. It's not the problem that it's there as much as feeding into it. We have so many problems. There's no question. But the real problem is feeding into the problem. So the problem is there. I want to be acknowledged. I want to be recognized. Okay, I acknowledge that problem. But now what do I do about it? If I cultivate it, if I feed into that, if I try to manipulate my life in a way to become recognized, or if I lament that I'm not being recognized, then I'm feeding into the problem. So, and then that becomes the cause of all the other problems, as we're saying in this quote. It becomes the cause of the envy. It becomes the cause and effect, envy becomes the effect of pride, and then so many other effects follow from that. So cultivating humility is really, really important. It's foundational to our advancement in Krishna consciousness.